Good Saturday morning, everybody. Chris and Tiffany here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to this week's episode of What Every Cruiser Wants. Are you ready to read some cruise comments?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All
I
right.
think so.
You think so? Well, this week we've got people who just cannot change with the times. We have rudeness. Cannot have cruise comments without having rudeness. And then I've got a comment here at the end. It's going to be a long one. It is from a person who you would have thought that cruising is the absolute worst vacation on the planet. I mean, this comment is so everything that could go wrong, according to this person, went wrong. Now, I think it reads as they just really had no idea what happens on a cruise ship. They're a miserable person, and honestly, I don't think they ever should have been there, but we're going to get to that one.
Okay.
All right. First, let's start with this one. And honestly, this first one, it feels like it's beating a dead horse. This is something that keeps coming up over and over again, and it's an example to me of people who just cannot change with the times. You should be telling your passengers to keep to the dress code and hold your head up high. No jeans, no sandals, or open toe showing shoes. If they want to look like they have just come out of the garden, the crew should send them away or to Denny's. Stop this pandemic. You are teetering in the edge. So what do you think? Are they teetering in the edge? Someone has gone into the main dining room wearing a pair of jeans and it's teetering on the edge. According to this person, they're only good enough to go to the Denny's.
That's got to be a guy writing that. And the reason I say that is because even on formal nights, when you're all decked out and dressed out, a lot of women wear open-toed high heels or sandals.
That's true.
So this got to be coming from a guy.
That is a possibility. It doesn't say whether it comes from a man or it comes from a woman. I just think it's funny that jeans is a pandemic.
Yes.
Jeans is a teetering on the edge. And if you're wearing jeans, obviously you need to go eat at the Denny's, not in the main dining room. But this is an example of someone who cannot change with the times. It is just the way the world is going. I'm sorry to say it, but the days of the tie in the dinner jacket in the main dining room on cruise ships, especially on Carnival cruise lines, it's over. Been saying that all this week. You know, I guess at least it's not about pajamas this time. Okay, this time it's about jeans. But the same answers apply. As far as some cruise lines, particularly Carnival cruise lines, the times are changing. And you have two choices. You can change with the times. You can accept that this is what is happening. You don't even necessarily have to participate, but you have to accept it. Go in the main dining room, sit at your table, enjoy your dinner. Have conversation with the people at your table and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. And if you can't do that, stay out of the dining room.
Stay home.
Stay off the cruise ship. But you guys let me know what you think. Like always, is jeans in the dining room a pandemic? Is the cruise line teetering on the edge? And do you think, man, but I like my jeans. I guess I'm just going to go have to eat at Denny's. It's time for a little rudeness. Gotta have a little rudeness. Look, if you're gonna write in a question or a comment, you want a piece of information from somebody, in this case, Carnival Cruise Line's brand ambassador, why do you have to be rude? Why do you gotta just throw in some nasty ugliness into it instead of simply making a request for a bit of information? Why is that?
You got me. I've working in the public, it feels like they feel like they have to get louder and uglier to get what they want, but
this request isn't even that serious. That's the worst part. It's not even like they're asking for something that's serious, or something that's, oh my God, I gotta know this right now. It's not even like that. Yet they're still rude. Let's take a look at this. I have checked your Facebook page, healed, but couldn't find anything for the December movies for the jumbo screen. And also need the IMAX movies for Horizon. Needs to be a better way to get this information to paying customers. And why are you not on TikTok? Or are you only the ambassador for Oldtimers?
I guess, is that the only reason you're going on the cruise is to watch movies?
You know what? I don't even care if that's the only reason to go on a cruise. If their object of their cruise is to sit on the Lido deck and watch movies under the stars every night, you do you. I don't have a problem with that. But why do you have to write it in like this? What happened to the words please and thank you? First of all, that's completely missing from this comment. Why couldn't it have been, good afternoon. Hey, quick question. Is there a place where I can get the IMAX movies going to be playing on the ship? Is there a place where I can see what's going to be played on the big screen on the Lido deck? I've looked for it. I'm unable to locate it. Could you please provide this information, or please point me in the direction where I can get this information? That easy, that simple. Why do you have to be like, I demand, give it to me now? Oh, and why aren't you on a platform that I prefer? I guess you're just for old timers. Let's throw in basically an insult at the end.
Yeah.
Then somehow in your mind think that the person at the other end is going to be like, oh my God, let me get them this information. I'm so excited to help them. I'm sorry. I get these kind of comments. You know what happens? Oh God, delete, 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 block, delete, delete, block. That's all you're going to get for people that, were to try to act like this.
And just even the whole TikTok comment that really has nothing to do
with wanting the movies, right?
With wanting the movies.
It's just like a throw an insult in there at the end. But what do you guys think? I mean, I find that just kind of insulting that a person even writes this. And has please and thank you honestly just left our everyday vocabulary? All right, and finally on to our last comment. Now, I said at the beginning, this is a long comment. This is a doozy comment. This is a first-time cruiser, in my opinion. This is someone who did no research, has no information, and they weren't catered to. That's kind of how I read it, too. It's like, I'm entitled to have everything the second I demand it. It didn't happen, so everybody else around me is absolutely wrong. And it's going to take a minute to read through this one, because like I said, it's long. But, I mean, y'all check this out. Every little thing on the ship was just into the world horrible. We took our first cruise on July the 10th of 2023. We sailed on Carnival Conquest out of blank. They have the rudest employees. On our first day, our blank refused to come help with the overhead bed, stating he was busy with luggage. When the suitcase came, I asked about the other 2 bags. Spoke to me like I was stupid. When they did come, my son's laptop was broken. My daughter and I were late for dinner the first night. No one would show us how to get to the dining hall. My kids were miserable because we couldn't do anything together. My 16-year-old couldn't even get into the 18-plus shows with her parents, so we did nothing as a family. I asked someone on the Lido deck to open one of the yellow umbrellas that were closed. They had watched me try to open it myself, but couldn't. He told me no because of the wind. We had the rudest, most unpleasant dinner waiter. Never asked if our food was good. Never explained how dinner went. We didn't know what we could order or how much. He told my 16-year-old that she shouldn't order the surf and turf because it would take too long. She was disappointed. She didn't order it the rest of the trip. The sea day brunch was inedible. My French toast was burnt to a crisp on the bottom and raw in the middle. I took one bite and set it aside. Blank took the plate. Didn't offer anything else. Blank gave me burnt burger patties. Worst burger ever. They had 1 ticket location and 2 people working for blank people on the ship to line up and get a ticket to get off at Half Moon Key. The beach itself was unsanitary and a health hazard. I have pictures of Band-Aids and diabetic needle devices laying in the sand. Our shower in our room was terrible. It was never more than lukewarm, and if you showered more than 5 minutes, you ran the risk of overflowing the area because of slow drainage. Blank took 2 hours. There were no employees in the lobby to instruct people on what to do or how to go about it. Told you, that one was long. And the way this person writes it, their whole trip was just basically one roaring dumpster fire.
First time cruisers.
Yeah, which it does say at the beginning, we took our very first cruise. I think we have to break this one down from the very, very beginning here. Of course, you know, they automatically say they have the rudest employees. I don't know. I've been on a bunch of cruises, and crew members, they're some of the nicest and sweetest people I have ever met.
Yes, always wanting to know if the cabin's okay, when do we want our service, you know, stuff like that.
Right. So were they rude because she immediately wanted the overhead bed fixed and they were busy sorting and bringing on the luggage on board the ship? That's a busy time. That's a lot of luggage. They're hustling. They're trying to get all that done. Your room steward's trying to get around to everybody's room, introduce himself, make sure everything's set up and ready to go for you. It's where you kind of make all your requests. So is it rude that the room steward didn't immediately drop everything he was doing and run in there and help her? Or was it even because it was involving the luggage? Was he walking by with a cart full of luggage and she's mad that he didn't stop working to immediately assist her? I don't know. I'm going to have to immediately go right there, just from what I've read, that she is wrong. Her bags didn't all come at once. Well, guess what? That happens. There's been plenty of cruises where your bag will show up and 30 minutes later my bag will show up, or vice versa, whatever the case may be. They don't guarantee a time those bags are going to be to your room. They're just going to get to your room that day.
Yeah, they're working with thousands of pieces of luggage. I mean, you figure the average person has at least 2 pieces of luggage with them, and that's a lot of luggage.
Right, and it is going to depend on the amount of luggage that's got to come on board and how many people are available to sort and move all that luggage, which is usually your room stewards. And so that luggage takes time. And she said, well, you know, it arrived and her son's laptop was broken in it. Why was it in there in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. I'd have had that on my carry-on.
Yeah, that would have been on my person. Now, maybe we've done enough traveling, and I've seen, even on airplanes, you know, they're not the gentlest with these suitcases. I don't think I would put something breakable in my suitcase to start with.
Yeah.
It does happen occasionally, and I can understand you being like, oh man, they broke this. Maybe they're not avid travelers. I get all that, but that part, okay, I can see you being a little upset about, but the fact your bags didn't all arrive at once and then you're out there, well, where's the rest of my bags? I want them right. That's not how it works.
No.
This dinner one, I think there's several parts to this dinner one. Because it starts off by saying they were late for dinner on the first night.
Because nobody would show them.
Right. But nobody would show them how to get there. That's true. I mean, the app on board Carnival, the Carnival Hub app that has the deck plans, that was no. The maps and everything that are down by all the elevators that show you where you are on the ship and where things are located on the ship, those apparently they weren't working. I mean, they're pictures, but maybe all the pictures were covered up.
The crowd going to the dining room.
Right, the fact that people were going there, the fact that you didn't ask a single solitary soul, and for everybody you asked, because according to you, nobody would tell you or show you how to get there. I'm going to call BS. Because if you'd asked your fellow cruiser, hey, any idea which way is the dining room? You know, it says I'm supposed to be down on, midship deck 4. How do I get there? Oh, you're going to go to those elevators and ride down to 4. Boom, it's right there. You'll see it. People would have helped you. I'm going to have to call BS on that one. Now, I also think this goes on to later on in this comment. Because remember, later on in the comment, they said, my daughter, my 16-year-old, wanted the surf and turf. But the server said, hey, it's going to take a while. You may not want to order it. Right? Mm-hmm. Well, let's go back to the fact that you were late to the dining room. Which is probably why that was said. Yeah. Because if you're super late and it's something that takes a long time, it's suggested, hey, look, you probably don't want to get this because it's going to come out late. Everybody's going to be done by the time you get your food. Is that now the waiter being rude, or is that the waiter giving you some really practical advice? And the fact that you didn't go to the dining room on time the next day and then order it, again, on you. All right, but let's keep breaking this down because we are not through this one yet. The kids were miserable. As a family, they could do absolutely nothing together. But the only thing they can cite that they couldn't do together was the fact that a minor couldn't get in the comedy show that's for 18 and over. It just blows my mind. So because they couldn't get into this one comedy show, they could do nothing together as a family. So the game shows, couldn't do those. Couldn't go to the main theater. Couldn't play trivia. Couldn't do anything on the Lido deck. Absolutely nothing because they couldn't go to this comedy show? Again, BS. Yellow umbrellas on the deck. The crew member, he was just so rude. He said it was too windy that I couldn't open this big giant yellow umbrella. Cool, maybe they didn't want the giant yellow umbrella to go, woo, over the side of the ship. It's amazing. It's windy. The weather's fouled out a little bit. They closed the umbrellas. Oh my God. Who knew that such a thing would happen? But the crew member is rude. And why is he rude? Because he kept it closed for the weather. And then from there, you got, it goes on. Every bite of food on the ship was terrible. Main dining room was terrible. Sea day brunch was terrible. The burgers, and it doesn't specifically say, but I'm going to say this is Guy's Burgers. It was burnt. It was terrible. It's the worst burger ever for Guy's Burgers.
We're going to get a lot of comments on that.
I know. I had to stand in line to get a ticket for the tender at Half Moon Cay. That's some BS. What do you think? The ticket's just going to fall out the sky and in your damn pocket? And then I got to call some BS. We've been to Half Moon Cay.
Yes.
That was one of the whitest, prettiest, sandy beaches that I have been to. Half Moon Cay's beach was gorgeous. Yes. It was beautiful. Absolutely one of my favorites. I just don't remember it being unsanitary.
Or unsafe.
I don't remember being littered with diabetic needles.
Or Band-Aids.
Or Band-Aids. I mean, the crew is there. They look after that beach. There's people that stay on that island. It's their job to take care of it. They do a good job. So, I really got a question. I mean, has anybody noticed that the beach at Half Moon Cay is unsanitary? Now with the shower, there's some truth to that.
There is.
There is some truth that it is a slow drainer at times. We've been on ships where it's a slow drainer. It never is overflowed, but you will notice that your feet are suddenly underwater.
And if you're a first-time cruiser, it takes a hot minute to learn how to adjust the temperature, because you can get it scalding hot to where you're coming out with boiling blisters.
Well, it's that twist knob for the thing. And if you twist it all the way to the farthest stop, generally that is only warm water. You have to actually push that button behind it and turn it further to get more hot.
Yeah.
So was the water lukewarm, or did this person not know how to operate the shower? That's kind of where I think it is. And then finally, there's absolutely no employees in the lobby at any time of the day to instruct people on what to do or how to do it. Again, I got to call BS. There are crew members everywhere at all times. Look, I get up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to go out and shoot cruise ship videos. There's crew members everywhere.
Yeah.
There's always crew members, and they are some of the best, friendliest, most helpful people I have ever met on a vacation. So I find it really hard to believe. So this person here obviously had no idea what they were getting into a cruise. And honestly, they strike me as a person who is just not a pleasant person to be around. It's like it wasn't exactly to the letter how I wanted it, when I wanted it. So every single solitary thing sucked. And that's how it's come across. It's just a big letter of complaint for whatever reason. Cruising is not for this person. No. I hope they never, ever cruise again. But that's my opinion.
But I will say, for first-time cruisers, do some research. Really do some research, because a lot of this, she could have found out.
Well, a lot of it is, unfortunately, I have to say, it's just made-up BS to make her situation sound even worse. Yeah. You're never going to convince me that not a single crew member on that ship was willing to help.
Oh, no, you'll never convince me of that.
Okay, now, I will say this much, and I have heard this from crew members before, though. If she got on that ship on embarkation day, and she was just straight nasty and ugly and mean to crew members, the crew members will start telling each other that will go around the ship, and at the end of the cruise, it is possible that they all knew that this lady was coming down the hallway and avoided her. I will say that is a possibility, and we have heard that from crew members, that people that are like that, they will go out of their way to not help.
Yeah.
They will go out of their way to make that vacation even worse. They're not looking to help a person that is just that miserable in life. But that all would have had to stem from the way she acted or he acted, because it doesn't actually say if this was a male or female. So the way this individual acted on embarkation day could have very well set the tone for how they were treated the remainder of the cruise. Because just from reading this, I don't find it believable that this passenger opened up their door because they had a problem with the bed. Let's say it starts right there. And they see a crew member walking by and they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, sir. I was wondering about if I could get some help to pull down this bed. I think if it was said that way, that the crew member may have taken a different path. Or the crew member might have said, hey, no worries. Your room steward, he's going to be along shortly. As soon as they get there, let them know you want to have that pulled down earlier than turned down. They will be happy to take care of it for you as soon as we get done with working on the luggage or something like that. That seems to me what a crew member would say to an individual. Now, if this passenger opened up the door and started off with that bullshit, right? Yeah, I can see the crew member going, yeah, doing luggage. And off they go. And then they start telling very next person, the room steward themselves, hey, watch out. You got a donkey's behind down in cabin so-and-so down here. Beware. And I have a feeling that's just my opinion of how that started. What do you think?
That's a good opinion.
It's a good opinion. But I'm going to throw it over to you guys because I said this was a long one with a lot of stuff in it and a lot of stuff to break down. What do you guys think? Do you think this person's cruise was as miserable as they made it out to be? Or do you think they personally made their vacation that miserable? And that's going to be our video today for what every cruiser wants. Let us know in the comments below. What do you guys think? Are these people right? Are these people wrong? Or like this last comment, are they just insane and out of their minds? Let us know what you guys think. Hope everyone out there has enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. You don't want to miss videos where you too can learn that every single thing is wrong on the Carnival Conquest, at least according to this passenger. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day, and like always,
we'll see you out on the high seas.